Hello everyone, Stephen and Coach James here from humanformfitness.com. In today's instructional video, we're going to cover the Romanian deadlift, or the RDL for short. Now, the joke around our studio is that any exercise that is preceded by an Eastern Bloc country's name is effective and also brutal. There are some very key points here. We used to do, well, not your time, but back in my day, it used to be called stiff-legged deadlifts. Now we do the Romanian deadlift, and there are some cues to this. The bending pattern is oftentimes we find the most challenging pattern with most people to get right. So James is going to take over here and show you the details of building up a strong posterior chain. Also an attractive one, if you want to do that, also works. So I'm going to have James take over here for the RDL.
All right, great. So we'll start with the side view initially. The side view will have the kettlebell slightly in front of you, okay? You're gonna bend at the hips where your hips are gonna move backwards. So my back will stay straight, eyes will be up. You will bend just enough to be able to pick up the kettlebell, okay? Return to the top and drive the hips back until you feel a stretch in your hamstrings. Hips will go back, everything stays up, and you're going to come through and squeeze your glutes. So we'll go ahead and turn from the front view as well, so you'll be able to see my chest the entire time. As we come down, you'll feel your hamstrings, stand back up. So a couple things to look out for if you're watching. Okay, you don't want to see yourself rounding over and back. So back up flat, again, driving the hips backwards, and not getting a round, okay? Also, don't overextend at the top. Stay strong, nice and tall. Hips back, and come back through the top.
Now, one of the biggest issues we have with people learning the bending pattern is squatting instead of bending. So what James is going to do now is show you the difference both visually, and then you'll be able to feel it kinesthetically as you try this out.
So with the kettlebell, it can be a squat, which would be dropping down into that position, versus your hinge, where you're just bending at the hips, okay? So the same thing from both sides. You're going to want to do this too much, where you're dropping at the knees, instead of bending through the hip and going forward and backwards, instead of up and down.
All right, James, rock on. Go ahead, try out the RDL. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below in the blog, and we'll see you soon.